Hello YouTube family, this is my second video for the day, and it is concerning mass shootings that we've had lately. Again, if you like the videos, please hit the like button, please subscribe if you've not subscribed already, and ring the bell for notifications. And we've had in the last week 2 mass shootings, one in Atlanta, one in Colorado. For the Atlanta mass shooting, the suspect is 21 years old. He killed 8 people at 3 different spas in the metro Atlanta area. Seven of his 8 victims were women. 6 of the 7 women victims were Asian. The victims are Delana Yan, Paul Andre Michaels, who is 54, Xiaojie Ting Natan, who is 49, Dao Yu Feng, who is 44, Sun Chung Park, who is 74, Hyun Jung Grant, who is 51, and Sun Cha Kim, 69. Also, there was Young A Yu, who was killed. There was a Cherokee County area survivor, Elias Hernandez Ortiz, who is still recovering. He was shot but not killed. Ken Jeong, the Asian American actor comedian, mentioned Asian American women are 2 times more likely to be assaulted in America, and that he believes this is definitely a hate crime. The places that were targeted in Atlanta were the Gold Spa, the Aromatherapy Spa, and the Young's Asian Massage. And when I first heard the people on the news talking about the shooting in Atlanta, they all made it out like these women were involved in sex work, like it was a massage joint where you got more than a massage. If you need any further advice on what that is, go ask the Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots. Apparently he knows about those spas. I'm thinking these spas were not necessarily sex work, because there was a Hispanic man whose wife was in the spa who got killed. She was one of the ones who got killed. The Hispanic man, unfortunately, ended up handcuffed for over 4 hours in the back of a police car because he's a Hispanic man in the area when there was a mass shooting, I guess. I don't know why they had him. I mean, his wife was in the spa, and she was not an employee. She was there to get a massage. She had secured a babysitter for their daughter, and he took her to the spa so she could get a massage and relax. So I'm thinking these joints were not necessarily sex work oriented spas so much as legit spas where you could get various things, including massages, done. Georgia's law allows for hate crimes on the basis of race and gender. So it could be a hate crime because of targeting women. It could be a hate crime because of targeting Asians. Local residents in the area in Atlanta want this to be charged as a hate crime. The suspect was arrested 150 miles south of Atlanta. They believe he was headed towards some area in Florida to do more attacks. There was a Korean newspaper that reported witnesses saying the man, when he was killing the people in the Asian spas in Atlanta, that he had commented he was going to kill all Asians. I've not seen that corroborated in any of the other news sources I've looked through. The suspect claimed to have a sex addiction. If you watch that initial insane police press conference, they had the Captain Jay Baker of the sheriff's office, who was a spokesperson, and he was initially engaging with the media over this, and he had made comments including saying that it had been a very tough day for the shooter, for the guy who did the killings. I mean, this Jay Baker sounded like he was the PR person for the shooter. I don't get it. And the sheriff's office has said he's been replaced as the spokesperson for this investigation, the shootings in Atlanta, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, they ended up finding on his Facebook page that Captain J. Baker had been advertising shirts that advertised the coronavirus as the China virus. And so you get a little bit of a insight into the guy's head. He has fallen prey to this thing of accusing people of a particular race. And did the coronavirus come from China? Yeah. Are Chinese people trying to actively hurt America? No. It's a virus. It starts, it spreads, it does what it does. You know, the Chinese government may be responsible for not being as upfront immediately with the virus, giving enough information to where people could prepare better. I'm not sure about that, but no, just call it the China virus, that's definitely a xenophobic thing that's going to cause the crazies in our country, and you know there are crazies, to do crazy things. The thing I looked at with this suspect is he's a member of the Crabapple First Baptist Church in Georgia. After these shootings, the church he was a member of took down their website, took down their social media, took all of it down. And most likely because they have these kind of vile sermons, and as reported by Vice News, one of their lead pastors, Jerry Dockery, had said radical feminism has engulfed our culture like a tsunami. The church has uncompromising views about sex, gender roles, feminism, and the importance of obeying the government, any government, even the government of North Korea. And another quote from the church was, "We're now striving for gender neutrality, for gender fluidity, you name it. It's gender whatever you want, and I would say to you that this is a blatant, and I will say it one more time, a blatant guidance, direction, and strategy of Satan." That's the kind of things that people like the suspect in this Atlanta shooting were hearing from his pastor in church. Taylor Bayless, a roommate of the suspect at a halfway house, said the shooter had seemed to be under the pressure cooker of his religious surroundings. He said the suspect repeated the church's denunciations of feminism and pornography. When the church took down its website and social media, it came back without the references to the church's more uncompromising positions. So these things that, as Vice was putting out before, denouncing this, denouncing that, saying that it's the work of Satan, when they took their stuff down and they brought it back up, it was without that stuff. Which, to me, is an admission of guilt on the part of the church. From the church's website is, "We believe that God has commanded that no intimate sexual activity be engaged in outside of a marriage between a man and a woman. We believe that any form of sexual immorality, such as adultery, fornication, homosexuality, bisexual conduct, bestiality, incest, polygamy, pedophilia, pornography, or any attempt to change one's sex or disagreement with one's biological sex is sinful and offensive to God." And that's where I believe you have the problem in the Atlanta shooting. Is you have a guy who had issues. He was young, impressionable, not particularly well educated. I'm guessing not particularly intelligent. Going to a church that had this fire and brimstone, anything that's just normal sex between a married man and a married woman that are married to one another is wrong. It's of the devil. And if you go back and listen to the police in that initial news conference they did, where they were saying the guy was attacking these spas. They had defended the guy, saying he said he had a sex addiction. Apparently he was in the halfway house because he felt he had a sex addiction. But he had said he had done the shooting to protect himself. And that is, the defense was these spas are a temptation. Unless they're sex work spas, I don't see how they are a temptation unless you're going to claim that a woman existing in life is a temptation, which is insane and gives a level of view into the guy's psychosis. But he had expressed that he was shooting these women to protect himself. And that goes more towards what you're hearing from this church he belonged to, which is all of these things are wrong, all of them are evil, they're all part of Satan, and you need to disavow yourself from it, you need to not participate in it, it's all wrong, you need to be opposed to it. And one thing churches, and I understand there are very religious people that will probably have huge problems with what I'm saying, because they believe there can be no wrong in church. But the people who are in positions of leadership in church have to understand that their words have meanings. Their words have intent. And their words are going to fall differently on the minds of people who have different levels of education, different levels of intelligence, different things going on psychologically, and they absolutely can be the catalyst for causing someone to go out and cause violence like this. And it's clear it had something to do with race, because out of the 7 women who were murdered, 6 were Asian. That's no coincidence. There were other spas, other massage places in Atlanta that he passed on to go to these specific places. There were other people there. And you could say, well, there was 2 people who were killed who were Asian. Yeah, but in any shooting, if you intend to shoot Asians, you could end up shooting other people because of the nervousness of going into a shooting situation, and other people are there. You kill other people who you see as a threat or whatever. But it's clear that his target was Asian women. And we have a problem in this country of sexualizing Asian women. And Asian women have to deal with sexual abuse at a higher rate in this country because of the way they've been sexualized in television, film, and people's fantasies. But the church has very uncompromising views on a lot of things. They got into this guy's head, and it looks to me like they had a major hand in what he did. No two ways about it. Then we go to the Colorado shooting that happened in Boulder, Colorado. It was a lone shooter. He had a high-capacity weapon. It was the King Soopers grocery store in Boulder, Colorado. 10 people dead. The victims in Boulder are police officer Eric Talley, who was 51, Rick Olds, who was 25, Denny Strong, who was 20, Terry Liker, who was 51, Kevin Mahoney, who was 61, Trelona Bart Kowiak, I hope I got that name close to right, 49, Susan Fountain, 59, Jody Waters, who was 65, Lynn Murray, who was 62, and Nevin Stanistic, who was 23. The shooter was 21 years old. Two shootings, both of them men in their early 20s. The shooter in the Boulder, both shooters actually, Atlanta and Boulder, purchased their assault weapon less than a week prior to the murders. They purchased an assault rifle less than 1 week, then carried out murders with them. That's a fact in both cases. The family of the shooter in Boulder believed he was suffering from some type of mental illness. They said he had believed at times that people were following or chasing him. It was the Boulder mass shooting was the deadliest mass shooting since 2019. This shooting in Boulder, Colorado, came 10 days after a judge blocked a ban on assault rifles passed by the city of Boulder in 2018. And again, we have this fight against gun control. I don't know, I've not read into the judge's decision in that case in Boulder, why exactly he made the decision he did to block the ban on assault weapons. But, I mean, we've made it clear in this country, just because you have the right to own firearms doesn't mean you have the right to own any firearms. You can own a gun, yes. You can't own a tank. You can't own a plane. You can't own a landmine. There are things we decided you shouldn't be able to own in society. And I would agree with anyone who wants to ban assault weapons that you shouldn't be able to own an assault weapon. You don't go hunting with assault weapons. You don't do anything productive with an assault weapon. They're made to kill people. Assault weapons were designed for military units to kill human beings. That's what their purpose is. And so the judge in Colorado blocked the ban on assault weapons in Boulder. 10 days later, 10 people are dead with an assault weapon in Boulder, Colorado. And the Boulder, Colorado incident, there's more and more coming out, but it sounds like the guy's family was concerned that he had mental instability problems. His brother had said that they were picked on in school. They had immigrated here from abroad. They obviously have Muslim names, a Muslim background. His brother said they were picked on in school for being Muslim. And his brother said that the suspect, really wasn't religious, didn't have any particular political or religious ideology, didn't pay attention to politics or religion, and was just messed up from bullying in school. And if that's the case, it's truly tragic that at this point in America we haven't come to understand that bullying is just a negative for the entire country. It's not going to produce anything good. It will always produce something bad. And there are too many people that defend the bullies, too many people that don't do anything about bullying, people that have this mentality of, well, buck up and just deal with it and get through. I got bullied when I was a kid. Yeah, it may not be the same. That's the thing. It may not be anywhere close. Just because you got bullied don't mean you got bullied like this person or that person. The level of vile hatred towards people can be very different, especially if they have some ethnic background, particularly in this case a Muslim name, at a time when you have a lot of right-wing dipshits in this country who attack people just because they have a Muslim name, will denigrate someone just because they have a Muslim name, or just because they are Muslim and follow the religion. And two mass shootings, you have 18 people dead, and now that things are starting to open up again, we're starting to work our way through the coronavirus. Unfortunately, the mass shootings have started popping out again because this is America. Apparently, we can't help ourselves with that. And here's one graph I have. It is mass shootings between the year 2000 and 2014. And if you notice, fourth down is the United States. Out of 166 mass shootings that were studied in that 14-year span, The United States accounted for 133 of them. Insanity. Insanity. Since 2014, here's the number of mass shootings in the United States. And last year, even though there was a pandemic, we still had a rise in mass shootings. They weren't as big, didn't have as many victims as these two, the Atlanta and the Colorado shooting, but they're not stopping, and we have to do something about it. And the only way I see forward is gun control measures that are going to be sensible and actually curtail this garbage. And that's my video on the mass shootings. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day.